Good morning, everybody. Phil here. Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Is it just me or is the camera off? Remember yesterday I readjusted my camera because I had some issues with the tripod position. I think that's better now. The tripod had been leaning against my table, so when I did this, it would shake the whole camera, and now it's not doing it anymore, so I guess I fixed it. Cool. All right, well, everyone, welcome to the show. How's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. Today is January 2nd, 2024. We've got quite a lot to talk about. I've got some big updates in regards to the topics we talked about yesterday, the new initiatives for 2024, a big major update regarding one of those initiatives, DSP Throwback, which not only officially kind of had a preemptive launch last night, but I already have stories to tell you about this channel that you'd be like, I don't believe you. Seriously. It's like, I knew. Remember, we've been talking about getting legacy content, okay, up on YouTube for like a year and a half. Ever since I dug into my closet in the summer of 2022, and I found those hard drives. And I kept telling you guys, you know, I guarantee you this is not going to be as easy as you think. You know, to do this right and to do it in a method that would make sense, that people would enjoy, it's going to take work and there's going to be hurdles to jump. I already have interesting stories to tell you all just based on day one of trying to do this project of getting my old lost media content on the internet. So that's going to be fun. A little bit of an update here on Resident Evil 0, which we're starting today. It's funny because I don't remember this game at all. I mean, I really don't. People were talking in the chat about it. And I was like, really? Like, I don't remember that at all about this game or any Resident Evil like that. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So basically updates all over the place. I also want to give you an update on Street Fighter 6 because at this point, you know, to be honest with everybody, I'm getting pretty disenchanted with the game, with the state that it's in right now. And that is what it is, you know, any game that you play, as much as I've played that one, I think I've played Street Fighter 6 more than any other game in the last year. But at the same time, you know, the game has definitely changed from how it was many months ago versus the state it's in today. After playing it last night, I kind of had such a mixed experience with it that I kind of want to give an update on that. And we'll talk about that too. So there's many topics to cover today on the show. One thing that I just want to cover before we even get into anything. I apologize. I did not get a chance last night to go through your nominations for the best playthroughs of 2023. And I did not get a chance to update. This looks... Did that just fix it? You noticed that, right? That it looked like it wasn't centered? Okay, I think it's better now. I did not get a chance to go through your nominations and to make the poll yet to determine the best playthroughs of the year that you guys nominated. I had every intention of doing that, but I didn't get to because I was working on the DSP Throwback stuff. And initially ran into problems, and I was like, oh, yikes, already. So I didn't get to it. Now, the thing is, tonight, I'm really going to make a hard push to see how far we can get in Yakuza Like a Dragon. But I'll do my best to still try to do it tonight. We'll see. But I know yesterday on the podcast I told you guys, hey, I'm going to go tally up your nominations for your best playthrough ideas, and I'm going to make a poll and all that, and I didn't get to do it. My apologies. Not that it's going to take that long. It's just that I need to sit down and have the time dedicated to do it. You know, maybe like 25 minutes to just go through, count, make a poll, make sure it's up, post it up everywhere. And, you know, uploading all those videos last night and having issues, which I'll tell you about in a second, took up all my time. So I'll get to it. I promise you, you will still have ample time to vote. Those series, the year-end series, start next week on Monday night. So I think it's January 8th will probably be the most disappointing games of the year countdown on the night stream. And then on the 9th will probably be the Game of the Year awards and your fan-voted best playthroughs of the year. Okay? So there you go. Cool. All right, shall we begin? There's so many things to talk about today, seriously. Let's just start with all of yesterday's stuff. So we'll talk about the games I played, and then we're going to talk about me working on DSP Throwback and its reception and all the stuff going on. And then we'll talk about today and, you know, moving forward. I'm very excited for today. Obviously, new playthrough with Resident Evil 0. And we'll talk about that in a bit. So, no comments on my sweater. No one commenting on the sweater. I can't believe it. This sweater, once again, is old. This is not new. The only piece of clothing you guys have seen that's brand new recently was the the cardigan sweater that my wife bought me for Christmas, and I wore that 1 week ago on stream, remember? Outside of that, everything you guys have seen me wear is old. This sweater, no exaggeration, I bought again when I worked at the helicopter company. So this sweater is shit. That would have been like 2007, 2008. So this sweater is like 16 years old. Does it look 16 years old? It's because I've almost never worn it. I would literally only wear it to the office, basically. And I think I maybe wore it back in the day in just a few videos for YouTube, and that was it. It's been sitting in a drawer for 15 years unused. So I was like, hey, you guys want me to wear different kinds of clothes? Let's do it. And I'm curious what you think, if you like it or not. This style, you know, this is the kind of stuff I used to buy and wear to work. You know, because I would have like a work shirt, button-down shirt under it. You know, what do you call those? Like a pressed shirt or whatever under it. That way I could get away with it. Because you could wear a sweater over anything as long as you had like a business shirt under it. So, anyway. So it's very comfy. I've been waiting to wear it. But all week it's been like real sunny and warm outside. And finally today it's cloudy and rainy. I was like, finally a cool day. I can wear a nice sweater here on stream. So here we go. Anyway, so let's talk about yesterday. All right, yesterday was January 1st. And basically, 2 playthroughs, continuing on with Baldur's Gate 3, which was really good. We went into the Goblin area and explored it. There was so much content there. The funny part about Baldur's Gate 3 is if you just look at the map, if you were looking at that map compared to like a standard RPG map, you'd be like, oh, there's not much to this. It's actually quite the opposite. Every area is jam-packed with content, whether it would be combat and fights, whether it's like lockpicking and getting into secret areas and looting, whether it's actual dialogue with questing. Just this Goblin Camp area, right? We've been in it now for a stream and a half, and we're not done yet. There's still so much content to do in the area exploring. So it was a great stream yesterday. We took on 2 of the 3 bosses in the area. We actually did a bunch of side questing, got some upgrades and things, some good loot, you know? It was good. It was definitely good. I enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. And it was a great stream as usual. I want to say thank you to everyone that was there and who continues to engage and support those streams. But I want to say something. I apologize because I have noticed over the last 2 weeks, all right, sometimes when you guys are tipping me live on a stream, PayPal is not sending me the notification they're supposed to. And I don't know what's causing that because most notifications are coming through. So I'll be sitting here and it'll be, okay, shout out this tip, shout out this tip, shout out this tip. And then every once in a while, someone sits there and they're like, I didn't get a shout out. What happened? You know, is Phil pissed at me or something? And then they'll ask me in the chat and I'll be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. And then we'll interrupt the stream. I'll log into PayPal and lo and behold, their tip will be there with a message and everything. And I feel awful. This happened yesterday during the Baldur's Gate 3 stream. Someone had done a huge tip and I missed it because they didn't send me the notification. Now, this person's very nice and polite. They didn't want to say anything. They waited an hour for me to shout it out, and I still didn't. So then at the very end of the stream, they kind of contacted me and said, you know, I did send you a really big tip. Did you get it? And I checked. I was like, oh, my God. I felt so bad because we were supposed to have a hat and everything on the stream. and we didn't get it because I didn't know the tip had come in. All right? So what I will say is this, okay? If you do contribute, and by the way, obviously, this is if you're a regular. If you're not a regular, I'm probably not going to trust you because there are people all the time who come into the chat and try to say stuff like that. They'll be like, I did it, and of course, they're full of crap. But if you're a regular, you know, or someone who I know, and you contribute, and I'm not shouting it out, please, by all means, let me know. Tag me in the chat and say, hey, just so you know, I did contribute, and you didn't say anything. I just want to be sure you got it, and I will take a look. Because I feel awful that someone did something really nice. I mean, it was a huge tip. It was the biggest contribution of the whole stream. And I didn't shout it out until the last 5 minutes of the stream, and we didn't get any reward based off of it because it was so rushed. And now I hope that I really hope that person is okay with that and they're not upset. I hate that. I hate when something happens that's not in my control and it negatively affects me or others, and then I can't really do anything to fix it. That drives me nuts. That's one of my big pet peeves in life, is when there's something out of your control and you just got to kind of accept it. That pisses me off because it's like, how could I fix that? I don't know how I could. PayPal needs to work. You know what I mean? Like, that's on PayPal to actively be sending me the messages. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this camera perfected here. There we go. It's on PayPal to actively send me the messages. I can't make PayPal send me the messages, nor is there another way for me to know when these are coming in due to all the trolling and nonsense that's happened over the years. I basically have to do everything manually, okay? So I will do my best, in the future to shout things out in time. But if you're seeing that issue and you're noticing, wow, Phil's just not acknowledging it, let me know. And I promise you I will do my best to acknowledge it as soon as I'm made aware. I really feel bad about yesterday. I didn't want that to happen. And I'm very sorry. The person knows who they are. I'm very sorry that you didn't get your acknowledgement right away. I just want everyone to know this is an issue. It's now been happening not once. This is like maybe almost like once a day, I would say. In the last 2 weeks, people have said, yeah, why is my tip not getting shouted out? And it sucks, Jasper, don't jump. He jumps on my lap. He goes, ooh. Oh, relax, you. So anyway, sorry about that, okay? Then let's talk about last night's Street Fighter 6 stream, because this really was a mixed bag for me. I mean, if you've ever heard of the term mixed bag, this is the definition of that term. So, first half of the stream, okay, I made a commitment that this new year, in Street Fighter particularly, but hopefully in all fighting games, all right, I'm going to make an effort to not be toxic towards other players. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to shout out the netcode when it's not working. It doesn't mean I'm not going to say, oh, it dropped my input when I actually did it. But I'm not going to be toxic towards the other players and say, oh, these people are awful and, insult them and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that is going too far. And I really hammed it up last year playing Street Fighter 6. I went over the top a lot of times, saying ridiculous things. The thing is, when I play Street Fighter 6, I feel like I'm letting loose. This is my one stream where I can be silly and irreverent and over the top. Very similar to how I used to be back in the day. That's how my Street Fighter 4 coverage was, 13, 14 years ago. It was the same thing. And people really like that, but it's now 2024, and basically, people are, like, fed up with that, and they're like, oh my god, it's just not, it shouldn't be allowed, and it shouldn't be allowed. It's my own stream. I can say whatever I want, within reason. But it's not like I'm going to public forums. I'm not going to someone else's stream. I'm not in a tournament yelling at someone during competitive play. I'm just doing it on my own stream for my own audience. But admittedly, I will say, after the feedback and reactions I've gotten, I think I need to tone it down. All right? So I tried last night, and basically, it worked, I would say. I did not really get toxic to anyone last night playing Street Fighter 6. The first hour when I was playing with Blanco, we went back to rank, by the way. It was all ranked play, so all the master points were on the line. The whole first hour, I did really well. I actually gained almost 100 ranking points in that first hour. I went on an 8+ win streak, and I was doing good. I had some really close matchups, and admittedly, some of those matchups, I was basically getting very lucky, with some of the wins that I had. And I admitted it every time. I was like, dude, that was just luck. I can't believe I won that one and stuff like that. But I was doing really well. I was on a streak, right? And then all of a sudden in hour 2, it's like I'm playing a different game. Every match, and this is not me exaggerating, every single match, a critical input would drop that I definitely input on my joystick, and nothing would come out in the game. There was a couple times I did a move, 0 reaction. My character had no button input at all. You could hear me click, and the character just stood there like this, doing nothing. It's like, So obviously it's not me. You can argue that sometimes it's me making it up. But when you obviously see me hitting buttons and nothing's happening, there's a problem with this game, right? And this was happening frequently. And again, as I keep telling you guys, basically with Street Fighter 6, with the way that this rollback netcode works, it favors people who play pattern play and mash buttons. It just does. Because the way rollback netcode works, it guesses what's happening. It predicts what's going to happen. And if you're someone who presses jab, 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 it just assumes you're pressing jab again. And it'll give you that over someone who did the move to counter the jab. It's not supposed to. And if the connections were better, it wouldn't. But in a case where the connection isn't great, it'll just assume you pressed jab 100th time. And because of that, it's just not fair to the players, honestly. It makes it not competitive, you know? And it really is frustrating for someone who's maybe not playing as much. You know, I'm not playing as much as most people who play that game. I play, once a week, twice a week tops. So I'm not on the top of my game at all times. I know what I'm doing. I see what they're doing. Here comes a pattern. Here comes a trick. Here comes a mix-up. I know how to beat it. Move doesn't come out. That's it. Game over. And this happens all the time. You know, I don't pick top tiers in Street Fighter 6. I just don't like them in that game. I have picked top tiers previously, but I'm the kind of guy that when I play fighting games, I don't really enjoy picking the overpowered characters. I like picking a mid or low tier. It makes it more fun to me. That's just me. I've always been like that. So playing this game, it's like first hour, I'm having a great time. I'm winning close matches. Everyone's enjoying. No toxicity. Second hour, it's just like dropped input, dropped input, dropped input, dropped input. Lose, 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 lose. So the first hour, I gain almost 100 points. The second hour, I lose all those points. I'm right back down as if I had never played the game. And it's like... So where's the enjoyment? Honestly, if you're playing a game, right? And it's a 50-50 chance if the game even works when you play it, right? See, here's the difference. Imagine you're playing... imagine you're playing Baldur's Gate 3. And 50% of the time that you go to play it, it boots. And you play it and you have a fun time. And the other half of the time you go to play it, the game refuses to boot. So you just can't play it. You're frustrated. You have to keep hitting reload, 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 reload to get it to work. That's what it feels like playing Street Fighter 6. Half my night, things go well. I'm having a good time. Everything's working. The other half of the night, the game's just not working right. So there's no fun to that in a competitive setting. It's torture. Okay? So, basically the way I see it is this. I don't want to spend so much time on this game when it has degraded the way it has. Because originally it wasn't like this. You know, when you're in the early stages or even the first few months of any game, people are still establishing the meta. They haven't found the online abusive strategies that are insanely safe to get away with because of the way the netcode is designed. And it's more fun. There's more variety. There's more stuff to do in the game. And it feels more fair because of that. Now we've reached the point in Street Fighter 6 where it's just everyone's picking their mains. Everyone's doing the same mash patterns, right? The same jab-jab mix-up throws, the same drive rush and almost unstoppable offense. And unless you can get that perfect opportunity to do the move to stop it, you will lose. And with the connections as they are, you just can't do it. Why do you think there are so few people using the lower tiers in this game? The few that actually do well, you got to give credit, right? These upper echelon people using the Dalseems and the Lilies and things, they gotta deserve some big credit because those characters are so hard to use and to be consistent online. That's got to be applauded, you know? I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they can put up with that frustration when they're doing stuff and stuff is dropping. How you can put up with that because it drives me bonkers. It really pisses me off. So I came to a determination at the end of last night. I was like, not that it was a bad stream because it really wasn't. But basically, I feel I shouldn't spend as much time on this game in the next 3 weeks because remember, Tekken 8 comes out on the 26th. All right, and when Tekken 8 comes out, I'm going to be playing that, covering it big time. We're going to be doing the story. We're going to be doing various characters in training mode, going online, whatever other modes there are. I'm going to be giving it full coverage like I do new fighting games, and I will make an effort to try to learn it. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get great at it because I don't think I will. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not a Tekken player like I am a Street Fighter player. Street Fighter, I have over 2 decades, almost 3 decades of knowledge under my belt that I could say I have that kind of installed base of practice and experience that I can apply to any Street Fighter game, so I can go in at a ground level that's kind of higher than most people because of that level of experience. With Tekken, I mean, I played the originals, and then I dropped them around Tekken 4, and I haven't really played Tekken seriously since. So you're talking an entire 10, 15 years, if not more, of games of Tekken that I never played competitively and I missed out on, and tons of gameplay mechanics like the parries and the crazy juggles and the OTG ground bounces and the wall bounce mechanics. I don't get any of it. The last one, Tekken 7, I ate a super. Remember, they have a new move. It's not called a super, but it basically is a super move. Those were a new addition. I literally ate super 9 times out of 10 someone did it. It would just hit me because I'm never expecting that in Tekken. I'm like, there's supers in Tekken? Since when? Well, it was the new mechanic, and I got hit by it every single time. So, yeah. It drove me bonkers, and, is that more centered? Remember, I messed with my camera and screwed it. That is more centered. I messed with my camera and I screwed it up, but now I fixed it, but now we got to get it centered properly. I think that even looks even better, right? It looks more centered? Okay. So, anyway, I don't think I'm going to be great at Tekken at first. Maybe in time if I give it the time. But with 3 weeks left before Tekken 8, let's not go crazy with fighting games. Let's play Street Fighter once a week on Friday nights, okay, to give it a good send-off. You know, maybe some Blanca, probably go some more Dalsim. Maybe I'll bring back Honda for one stream. We'll see. But let's just give it a proper send-off, and then after that, I will go back to Street Fighter. When there's a new DLC character, I'll go back and check them out. When they do their seasonal updates, because they do these, they do seasonal updates where there's all new content in the game, and I'd like to go back to those as well. So I'm not giving up on Street Fighter. It's just I don't want to put that amount of time into it when really the fun has left the game. Really, unless I'm going to play this game insanely hardcore, I'm going to buy a gaming PC to reduce my input lag and the amount of input drops, and I'm going to be playing this game 5-6 times a week. I'm never going to get better at it because that's the level it's at now. You know, this is what happens with any fighting game. Typically, you're 7-8 months in. That's what it's become. It's basically just for the hardcore competitive players. Everyone else has dropped it. So, that's the point we're at. So Friday Night Fights will continue, but more fighting game coverage coming at the end of this month with Tekken. Okay, Tekken 8. Good stuff. Again, this camera seems off. It's driving me nuts. Let's try it like that. Does that look better? I don't know. We'll see. It seems like it's like I put it up and then dips a little bit. Well, we'll see what happens here. Okay, so that's my plans for fighting games after last night. Now, after I finished with Street Fighter 6 last night, I went to work on DSP Throwback, which is my newly rebranded channel. It used to be called KO Gaming, but I've rebranded the channel now for 2024. And what this channel is going to be is a legacy content channel. Now that my frame rate just dipped, did you see that? What is going on? Did the frame rate on my webcam just dip? It looks like I'm at less than 30 frames. I am. I'm choppy now. What is going on? First, I didn't like the camera angle. Now it looks like the frame rate has chopped up. Does it look choppy to you guys too? What is going on the podcast today? I don't think I can fix that either. All I can do is like mess around with the resolution, but I don't think that's going to fix it. No, it's not Comcast. It's on my computer locally. You guys think it looks fine? Maybe it's just on my end then. Because sometimes the preview that I see is not representative of what you guys see. Hold on a second here. Here's 720. It even looks... Oh! What happened to the... Now what happened? Why am I in the dark? Why did 720p make it go dark? What is going on here? Why would it do that? I give up. I guess we're just going to continue. I'm at a loss. I don't get it. Anyway, let's continue. So, basically last night, I finished with the Resident Evil, the Street Fighter stream, and I want to get to work on the DSP Throwback channel. So, for those who don't know, my old channel, KO Gaming, which is from 2016, was an edited content channel where I did highly edited reviews, countdowns, series, and things that basically took a lot of time. It wasn't live gameplay. It wasn't streaming. It was edited style on-demand videos. It did really well for a year. Okay? Really well for a year. And then what happened? YouTube demonetized it for literally no reason. Every video I uploaded to the channel was already demonetized before it even went live. When I asked YouTube why, they gave me the form letter response of, here's what's not allowed for monetization. I said, my channel has none of that, so why are you doing it? And they would ignore me. So basically, I gave up on it. I used it as a backup channel for a while, when this channel actually got hit with a bunch of nonsense and I was not able to upload to it for like a month. So I used it as a backup upload channel, and I got the monetization back at that point. That was around 2018. But I haven't used that channel since 2018. Over the last few years, you guys have asked me, would you ever upload your lost playthroughs, your lost media content like Final Fantasy 13 or Red Dead Redemption or LA Noire? And I said, well, if I could find them, I went to my closet and found them, okay? So I explained the whole idea of this new DSP Throwback channel yesterday on this show. If you didn't see it, I recommend you watch yesterday's show. It'll fully explain it. So last night, I went over, and KO Gaming has now been rebranded. It's now DSP Throwback, so you can access it right now. It's youtube.com/@DSP Throwback. If you're interested in this new project, and if you're interested in seeing the legacy content come back in a new, creative, and more modernized way, please go over there, give it a look, and please subscribe to the channel, all right? So last night I did a vlog. It was only about 10 minutes, and all it did was explain the premise of the channel. And I want to say thanks. Within 24 hours, or excuse me, within 12 hours, the video already exceeded 1,000 views and is climbing. That's great. It shows that there is some initial interest in the channel. Already there's over 100 new subscribers and climbing. So there are people who are interested in seeing this project, okay? So last night, after I had uploaded that video, I said, hey, I think I am going to upload the first, I don't know, let's say 2 hours of my Final Fantasy 13 playthrough, okay? Because here's the thing. By uploading those videos, I can check and see, are there any issues with them on YouTube? Because if I'm going to work on this channel and I'm going to edit those videos together into, you know, longer videos, if I'm going to run them through filters and processing to make them look better, I need to make sure the content is okay, right? I need to make sure YouTube's going to accept the content. What about copyright issues and all of that, right? So I uploaded about 11 or 12 videos to the channel just to do a test. First thing I noticed, already there's a problem, okay? So here's a big difference from how videos used to be done back in the day versus how they're done now, okay? So back in the day, when you used to upload to YouTube, okay, you would open your uploading queue, and let's say you had 10 videos to upload in a day. So you would queue them all up. You would select all 10 videos, drag them into this window, and what YouTube would do, it would start uploading the first video, and you would order them in the order you want them to go live. So YouTube would say, okay, this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. So you could actually order the videos in the order you wanted them to upload. Now, the thing is, it was never a guarantee that they would actually show up in that order because YouTube processing is very finicky. Sometimes YouTube processing will go, instant processing, and your video will go live within moments that it uploaded. And then other times, it would just sit there and get stuck in processing for hours on end for seemingly no reason. I think it has something to do with YouTube servers. But basically, you couldn't control that. That was on YouTube's end. So it used to be you could somewhat control the order that videos uploaded and went live on YouTube. It just wasn't foolproof, okay? Today, YouTube changed this. It was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. YouTube changed this whole process. Now, let's say I want to upload 10 videos, okay? So I start uploading one. I put all the data in. I start uploading the next, and immediately it starts uploading that one too. Wait, what? So the way it works is, it used to be it would upload one whole video in its entirety, then move on to the next. Upload that whole video in its entirety, then move on to the next. Now, YouTube tries to simultaneously upload all the videos at once. So if you try to queue up 10 videos to upload, it'll literally begin uploading all 10 videos at the same time. So number one, it kills your bandwidth. If you have, you know, good upload speed, which I do, it can handle it. But imagine if you don't have good upload speed. It just destroys your internet. And it makes everything insanely slow. It used to be, okay, one video would upload, it would take, 20 minutes? Then it would go to the next part. It would upload in 20 minutes. Then it would go to the next part. Now, because you're uploading all at once, it decides, oh, it'll all upload at once. Now everything's slow. And that's why sometimes what's happened is after my first stream here, I'll queue up this podcast and a few parts of the gameplay, and I'll just let it sit there and upload, and I'll go downstairs, have dinner, come back, and it's not even done uploading. And I'll be like, well, gives. Why didn't it finish? Because YouTube just decided to be slow that day. And because it was uploading all the videos simultaneously, it just lagged up and didn't finish. And that happens not all the time, but maybe once a week at least, and it's all on YouTube. Why they changed their process for uploading videos, I don't know. So how did this affect me? Well, you got to remember something, okay? All of my legacy content is on incredibly old external hard drives. That is a ancient, I think it's maybe a Seagate hard drive from 2009. That is old technology, USB 2.0, old style hard drive, not even the mini hard drive, it's huge. So it's already slow, and now you're trying to tell that hard drive to upload 10 files at once to the internet? Do you think it can handle that? Of course it can't. So basically what happens is, I'll set it up to upload all these videos, and it'll just lag up. So I ended up having to restart. I tried uploading, it just like lagged up and wasn't working. So I had to restart, and basically I had to do it, maybe do 3-4 videos at a time tops. That was it. I couldn't have it like upload, because like I told you guys, those videos are 10 minutes long. I wanted to upload like 2 hours of footage. That's 12 videos. Well, I can't do them all at once and walk away. I got to queue up 3 videos to upload, walk away, come back in an hour, queue up 3 more videos to upload, walk away, come back in an hour, queue up 3 more videos to upload. Do you see what a pain in the ass this is? And this is just my initial attempt to get these videos online. It's already a pain in the ass, which I knew from the moment when I was going to start working on this, there was going to be problems, all right? First thing I go to do, it's annoying, all right? So once I figure out this is how it's going to be, I just can't queue up everything and walk away. I'm going to have to actively be coming back to do this shit, which is very annoying. Some of the videos start to go live, and I have them as unlisted because the reason I'm doing this is to test the waters. These Final Fantasy 13 videos have not been on the internet for many, many years. So in those years, has YouTube cleared this kind of content? Are there copyright issues? Are there other issues? Let's see what happens, right? So all these videos upload, and there's 11 of them, I want to say, like 11 videos. Part 1 immediately gets flagged for copyright. Immediately. Okay? And I'm like, damn, that was fast. What is it? It's the intro song at the beginning of Final Fantasy 13. So the actual, like, intro theme song of the game gets flagged. And then it flags another part of the video. Get this. Content from Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. But this isn't Lightning Returns. This is the original Final Fantasy 13. So at some point, Square Enix flagged the music from the sequel, but it flags the same music when it plays in the original game. And it's like, what? So how would I get around that? Right? The only thing I can think of, I mean, there's various things you can do, right? You could try to edit out the music. You could try to replace the music. Or you could just say, whatever, let it fly. This is going to be part 1 of the playthrough, all right? It's going to be the most viewed part. But at the same time, if it's going to be the one that has the most copyright issues, maybe it just makes sense to let it have the copyright issues, and I'll make nothing on this video eventually when this channel gets repartnered, right? Like, what am I going to do? So I'm thinking maybe that's not so big of a deal. Maybe we just let it roll. So part 1 will never be monetizable, right? I don't know. So I continue to upload. Guess what? Just listen to this. Part 5 of the playthrough gets removed from the channel before I ever made it live. What? It's not visible. What? How could it be removed? Right? It says, get this. YouTube terms and conditions match. Listen to this. In 2011, Square Enix already matched this same video on YouTube for copyright and had it removed. Because there is a legacy claim in YouTube's system from 13 years ago. YouTube will not allow the re-uploading of this video. What? So, if you guys aren't aware, back in the day, YouTube was a very different place, okay? There were companies that, for some odd reason, did not allow people to do Let's Plays of their games. They would actively strike down channels that played their games. Square Enix was actually one of them. That's why Final Fantasy 13 had been put on its own separate YouTube channel. And that channel, like, I didn't have any issues on it, but apparently over time, Square Enix did strike down some of my videos. I just wasn't aware because I never logged into that channel, right? I didn't care. They were out there for a year. Anyone who wanted to see the playthrough already had. And I guess at some point, some of these videos had gotten blocked, claimed, whatever, okay? But here's the thing. Since 2011, thousands of people have played Final Fantasy 13 on YouTube and not had their videos removed. So what gives? This is a legacy claim. At one point, Square Enix was striking people with these claims, and they don't do it anymore. They stopped. Just like every company stopped. Like Rockstar used to do it, they stopped. All these, Nintendo used to do it, they stopped. Everyone stopped doing it. But YouTube's system is so outdated and stupid and automated, it recognizes a claim that's 13 years old as if it's a valid claim for today and says, therefore, you can never re-upload that video ever again. So I want you to think about that for a second. As if things never change in the law, things never change. You know what I mean? It makes no sense at all. Just because there was a legal claim made 13 years ago doesn't mean that legal claim stands today. It should be checked, it should be verified, but YouTube doesn't care because everything's automated. Okay? So I have the right to dispute it, and if I dispute it and win the dispute, the video will go live in over 2 weeks, but I have to dispute it. But here's the thing. I was just testing the waters. I wasn't going to make these videos go live in this state anyway. I did this on purpose. I pre-uploaded the videos to test and see what would happen if I just put the raw videos on the channel. I'm glad I didn't. Do you see what I mean? If I had done this on DSPGaming, already I would have had issues. You see, that's why I'm glad I did it this way. So, what is going to happen is, as I said, it's not just me working on this channel. There are people all collabing here to make this channel happen, okay? People actually really love the legacy content. They want to see it be presented in a modern way, and a lot of people miss this old content, and they want to help out. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take these parts, likely 3 each, okay? So 3 parts each. We're going to run these parts through an HD upfiltering. So what that's supposed to do, it's supposed to take all that blurriness and graininess away. Because remember, this was a camera pointed at my TV. It's supposed to smooth out that stuff to make it look more crisp, more HD. It's also going to have an echo filter run on it. So remember, my old commentary used to be in my condo, and it was a big echoing, right? It's going to try to remove some of that echo filter as well, so you don't hear that anymore. It'll sound more like my modern videos. It won't sound exactly like that, but it will sound a little bit better. Okay? So, that's going to happen first. Then, once that's done, then we're going to edit those videos together into roughly 30-minute segments, thinking like take 3 videos and edit them together. So when I asked, I'm just curious, how much work does this take? Just listen to this. In order to do this, to run each video through, so a 10-minute video, okay, combined with the 2 others to make a 30-minute video will take almost 4 hours of work. Almost 4 hours of work per part of this playthrough, and each part will be a half an hour long. Now, do you see what I mean when I told you guys it's not as simple as you think? It's literally not just me tossing the videos online. It wouldn't work. If I just toss the videos online, some of them will be blocked. Some of them will be muted for copyright. We got to get around those issues. And then on top of that, to actually edit these into longer parts and all of that, right? It's a ton of work. So that's why this wasn't something I ever just wanted to rush into before I was ready. I wanted to make sure that everything was prepared properly, that it was being done well. And now that I'm doing it, I see, wow, look at all this work, right? Look at all this tremendous amount of effort that's going to take to have this channel work. So, FYI, it's in process, okay? Basically, what's going to happen, here's what we're hoping. Once these videos are run through these HD filtering programs, the echo reduction programs, and once everything's edited together, it's not going to look like the old video anymore. It's going to look completely different. It's going to have different, I don't think that YouTube is going to match these videos to the old ones that I uploaded in 2010 and say, oh, this is a re-upload from a 2010 video that already was taken down by Square Enix. Instead, it'll recognize it as a totally new gameplay video, and it should be fine, okay? But I was very curious, because here's the thing. Now we know that particular part may have issues, so we got to be ready for that, and maybe we'd have to cut a part out. What is it? I don't know. It might take experimentation. Is there like a part of that one video that YouTube is using to identify to a literally 13-year-old outdated claim from Square Enix, right? Is there something we can do to fix that? So it's all this work that has to be done, and that's why right now there's no videos on the channel, even though I uploaded all that. It's going to take a tremendous amount of work. I can't promise you guys when you'll see the first video, all right? I don't know. I would hope, you know, we'd get some videos up this month, right? But I don't know. And the thing is, if it takes this much work, just think about this. I have 11 parts ready to go. So that's going to take, no lie, if it's 4 hours per 3 parts, right? So for the first 4 videos, it's going to take like 12 to 24 hours of work. And that's active work. That's not, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm sitting here doing nothing. It's active work. So that's going to be probably days and days of work to weeks, right? So hopefully I'll get some parts up for you guys, but I don't know when, and I'm not going to make you any promises. I would love to say, hey, it'll be live in a week. It'll be live. I don't want to say nothing. It might be live tomorrow. It could be live in a month. I don't know. But it's being worked on, okay? But it was very interesting to attempt this and to see the process of how it's going. I'm actually very excited to see what the first video looks like when it has all of this, you know, up filtering and echo reduction, everything done to it. I'm very curious to see how that will work out and how the video will look and stuff like that. So that's all in process, FYI, and I'll give you more information when I have it. Right now, that's where we're at, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do my best. I'm just going to get like that whole playthrough ready to go, so all the raw videos are ready to go, and then as time progresses, you know, slowly they can be worked on. They can be run through the filter, edited together, uploaded, etc., in their better form for you guys to be more digestible. All right, so that's pretty interesting, right? I mean, very different from anything that I'd be working on. And again, it's I want to accentuate here. It's not just me. I'm the one with the raw footage doing the initial test. There's people behind the scenes really working hard because they want to see this content get recognition on the internet, get back on there in a viewable way so people can watch it. Now, here's the thing. I want to say thank you all very, very much, okay? Because you've already put over 1,000 views. In fact, let me take a look here. Over 1,400 views and climbing, and over 150 new people have subscribed to DSP Throwback since I announced it yesterday. So the announcement vlog in 12 hours, getting good viewership, and the, you know, people subscribing because they're excited for this project, that's cool. Because here's the thing, as I told you guys, in order for me to repartner that channel, okay, I need to have 3 uploads. Right now, that's upload number 1, but I need to have 2 more uploads. In addition, I need to have a certain amount of watch hours. And by you watching not only that announcement vlog, but if you were to go back and watch some of the legacy content on the channel as well, that would help boost the watch hours on it. So then I could get it repartnered. Now, again, here's the thing. I am not going to be doing anything on this channel with memberships or anything like that. The only point is to get the channel up and running and to maybe get some ads on the videos. That's it. That's all I really care about. I'm not going to be on this channel all the time making new content. It's just going to be this legacy content that's uploaded. Every once in a while, maybe I'll do a random stream or something on it, or react to the old content, which is kind of a cool idea. But I'm not looking to have people be paid members and stuff like that. That's not my concern here. My concern is just getting it partnered to get those initial ads and things like that, you see? So it would be great if you checked out the channel, if you could watch that, not only the announcement vlog, but maybe check out some legacy stuff. And obviously, once these first videos eventually hit the channel of Final Fantasy, it would be absolutely cool if you could give them a watch, even if you're not interested, and just give me some feedback on what you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me know. Hey, do you like how the video looks? Do you like how the upscaler worked? How does it sound with the echo? Do you think this is an improvement? Like I said, these are going to be half-an-hour installments instead of 10-minute videos like the playthrough originally was. What do you think of that? That will help. That will literally help a lot. All right? So check it out again. YouTube.com/@DSP Throwback. Please watch the announcement vlog. That will help for watch hours. If you want to check out some of the legacy stuff, I would recommend don't check out the gameplay. Check out the edited videos from 2016. There was some really well done reviews, countdowns, and edited content from that year that people love. Again, my most viewed video on that channel was about Homefront: The Revolution and how awfully broken that game was at launch. Apparently, the game was actually improved a lot years later, but it took them like 2 years to make it better. But at launch, that game was a complete mess and a waste of everybody's money and time. And that video went viral and got over 1 million views. It was the most viewed video about the game on YouTube at the time. So that would help. And see, Zen Shuriken just said, I already said this yesterday, but I think some people missed the point. Zen Shuriken just said it in chat. If the upscaling looks good, maybe he can do some more classic playthroughs. You're exactly right. That's the whole point. My content from the original Dark Side Filled channel looks god-awful. But that's some of my oldest, most great legacy playthroughs. I have all of those files right now in hard drives. So I could take my classic playthroughs, upgrade them, make them look better, make them sound better, put them into half-an-hour segments, add thumbnails, and make a more digestible, modernized viewing experience for people on the DSP Throwback channel. And that's the point. And then, of course, I could eventually go there and do other content with it. Like I said, I could do a react to that content and say, you know, what I think about it and stuff like that. That'd be cool, right? So that's the whole idea. All right? So I hope that sounds good. Please give it a look. And I will let you guys know what happens over time, you know, if and when stuff is available, all right, to watch. Right now, there's no content to watch besides the legacy content, just the announcement vlog. But it sure would be great if you could at least watch what's over there. You know, once the viewing hours go up, then I would be able to actually monetize said content and go from there and see what happens, all right? So, again, this is one of many things that are going to happen this year. It's the first one. It's the one that's the furthest along. So I just wanted to get you guys excited. There are more things coming. In fact, I could tell you this. There is something else coming new, all right, that you guys are going to be very interested in within the next couple of weeks, all right? And I'll talk about it when I'm ready, but it's going to be a surprise. And that's why I really don't want to spoil it, but it's something very cool that I think you guys are going to enjoy, all right? So more on future things coming this year soon, but not yet. Okay. All right. So I worked last night on DSP Throwback. I literally was uploading videos like late, and that's why I didn't get to work on the whole best of 2023 countdown nominations, and I will work on those hopefully tonight. We'll see. Hopefully. We'll find out. But basically, I'm curious tonight what's going to happen with Like a Dragon, so let's talk about today. So on the first stream today, it's the premiere of Resident Evil 0 Remastered. This was a game that I played when it was new back in early 2016. 8 years ago. Exactly 8 years ago, because it was January 2016. And the more I think about this game, I realize the less I remember. Because this morning, people were talking about the game in the chat. And they were like, oh, so you remember that there's no item boxes and you have to drop items on the ground, but on the map it'll show you the items and where you dropped them on the ground. And I was like, no, I don't remember that at all. And people were like, you remember there's two characters, you got to swap between the two characters actively. And I was like, no, I don't remember that either. I really don't remember this game. I don't know. I told you guys that basically back in the day, those early years when I had moved here, so you're talking the second half of 2014, 2015, and 2016. For me, those years are like a blur. And what I mean by that is it was chaotic. It was very, very stressful. They were honestly some of the worst times in my life happened. You know, awful things happening to the business, like the false copyright strikes that really destroyed this channel and made it way less prominent on YouTube. My personal life and behind the scenes, you guys have no idea, it was falling apart. And you would think, oh, it's fine because if he's stressed out on stream, at least he has good things going on in his personal life. It was the opposite. It was like the streams were kind of trying me to escape because the personal life was falling apart, you know. It just was not a good time. So it's funny because you're telling me about, oh, this playthrough 8 years ago, isn't it? Don't you remember it? Isn't it too early to replay the game? I'm like, I don't remember this game. I really have like no recollection of what you're talking about. A Resident Evil game where you have to drop items on the ground and pick them up. I don't remember that. So yeah, like I'm actually interested and excited to play this game in the modern setting with the interactive streaming, because I feel like it's going to be a completely different experience than maybe, you know, the first one that I had. Because I think that the first one that I had, I can't even really recall it. You know what I mean? Like, I have no recollection of it whatsoever at this point. So, hopefully, this goes well, and it's a great playthrough. It's probably my least remembered Resident Evil game of all time. So, it'll be good to actually replay it and have a good time, maybe, you know, feeling like it's really an interactive, good, meaningful playthrough this time. Because, again, back then, as I told you guys, around 2016 was the year when I basically felt really, really burnt out. Doing the offline style of content, I wasn't enjoying it anymore. That's why I started KO Gaming, because I wanted to diversify my content and do different stuff, you know? So, this will be interesting. Hopefully you guys will join me for it, starting today. And then tonight on the late stream, it is endgame content of Like a Dragon Gaiden. Last stream, we wasted over 2.5 hours trying to do the Coliseum. So we have two choices. Either we give it one last shot, where we'll run and try to recruit some more powerful fighters from the casino, level them up fast, and then try to finish it. Or we could just say screw it and just go right to the endgame story. I'm going to let the viewers tonight on the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time determine that. If you guys want to see me give it one final shot, I will. But if you guys are fed up, just like I was last stream, at how this Coliseum works, and you just want to see the game progress and end, then we're just going to do that instead. Okay? So let's see how it goes, and we'll judge from there. But tonight, it's going to be endgame content of Like a Dragon Gaiden. I'd love to beat the game, but my wife said there's 3+ hours to beat it, so I don't think we can beat it tonight. We might need 2 night streams to finish it, which kind of sucks, because I would love to finish it sooner rather than later. But I guess that's life, right? Okay. So, that's tonight. Tomorrow, my final consecutive streaming day of the week, it is more Baldur's Gate 3 on the first stream, and then on the late stream, it is going to be more Sea of Stars, which I'm very excited for. The 2-hour intro on Sunday night was very fun, and I can't wait to play more and continue on with the playthrough. Again, it's a hybrid of Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, and Suikoden. So it's like 3 classic RPGs that I love, all combined into one, and I'm excited to jump back in for a second session. I'm not here on Thursday. It's my day off from streaming. I'm actually going to be running a bunch of errands, but it's going to be more of a chill day at home this week. My wife and I are looking forward to it. She's been playing Far Cry 6, and because it was just added to Game Pass like a week or 2 ago, and so she's been playing it, and I've been, you know, helping her with it in certain parts, and she might even beat it this week, which might be exciting to actually be able to finish the game together on our day off, so we'll see. And then on Friday, it's going to be more Baldur's Gate 3 and Friday Night Fights. Like I said, Street Fighter will now just be Friday nights. Saturday will be Resident Evil 0, and hopefully the conclusion of Like a Dragon Gaiden, okay? Sunday will be the React show, and Sunday night is currently up in the air, and here's why I say that. Usually, at the beginning of the month, I have to do private patron React videos, okay? This month, I'm assuming I'm going to have at least 1, 2, or 3 to do, but I haven't checked yet. Like, this morning, I was busy with other stuff. I didn't check yet. I have to check later today, but I haven't heard back from anyone yet. Like, no one has submitted their questions to me yet of what the videos will be, so I don't know what they are yet to say, oh, okay, well, I need to do 2, 3 videos. If there's only 1 video to do this month, then I'm just going to squeeze it in between the streams, and we'll do a Sunday night stream. But if there end up being, like, 2, 3, 4 videos to do this month, then I'm going to take Sunday night off from streaming to do the patron private videos, okay? So just to give you guys the heads up. And also, the truth is, that would actually help me a little bit, because if I did do that, it would help me to prepare, because starting Monday the 8th is my year-end series. So on Monday, the daytime stream on the 8th will be Baldur's Gate 3, and the night stream will be the most disappointing games of the year countdown. I will go through the top 10 or more disappointing games from 2023 and why I felt they were so disappointing. That's the late night stream. Then on Tuesday, it'll be more Resident Evil 0, and then Tuesday night is going to be my Game of the Year awards countdown, and then the best games of 2023 playthroughs as voted on by the viewers. So your nominations and votes will be counted during that night stream on Tuesday night, okay? And then Wednesday will probably be more Baldur's Gate 3, and that Wednesday night stream will likely be Sea of Stars, and that's my streaming week, okay? Now, the week after that, we're going to get more into it, because the year-end series will be over, I'll be able to focus solely on gameplay, and we'll have lots of progress in Sea of Stars, more progress in Resident Evil, Baldur's Gate 3. If we have time on night streams, which we very well may, maybe I could do one of these indie games you guys have talked about, like Pizza Tower or something like that. You know what I mean? Something short or I could just mess around with a little bit and not take too seriously. We'll see. But That's it. And that'll be my content heading into the rest of the month until the new releases come out at the end of the month, which is Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, as well as Tekken 8. Okay? So there you go. And by the way, yesterday, someone brought up, they said, hey, Phil, what's your next marathon? Would you do a Super Bowl event this year? No, I refuse to do a Super Bowl event this year. Probably yes. I can't even hear. It's such an echo when I wear this helmet. I can't even hear all I hear is like this resounding echo in my head when I got this thing on. How do they play? How do they actually play the sport with these helmets on? This giant echo. It sounds like you're in a cave. Seriously, it's like, oh, I can't hear. Anyway, yes, I would consider doing a Super Bowl event. It seems like you guys really liked the one that I did last year. We're gonna continue on and not be doing goal-related marathons. I'm just gonna do marathons for fun. So since you guys really seemed to like the football marathon we did last year with the Super Bowl, I see no reason to not do another one. Okay, so let's do it. And I think you guys had said that it was on like February 11th. So we'll probably do it the day before. Sunday, February 10th will be my first marathon of 2024. There'll be football jerseys. There'll be football helmets. There'll be football props. There'll be booze and drinking. But the question is, what else do you guys want? Like, what actually do you want to see happen during that event? I'm curious. Do you want to see me play video games? Do you want to see me react to Super Bowl ads like I did last year? You know, I'm open to whatever. We could do whatever you guys want. It could be just a chill party atmosphere, which I think would work well. I'll probably get some silly Super Bowl related snacks and things like that. I did try some of those snacks last year. Some of them were absolutely disgusting. Remember it was like beer cheese filled pretzels. That was so nasty. I remember it was so nasty. Oh. Anyway, so you guys let me know. Let's start talking about this. All right. And let's start planning. It'll be the first event of the year, February 10th. Okay, cool first marathon of the year. I'm excited for that. Fair enough? All right, cool. Phew. Yeah, it could be Tecmo Bowl, exactly. It could be another football game. I'm not sure what you guys want. Whatever you're thinking of, all right? All right. I think that's enough of me blabbing now about the schedule. What I'd just like to quickly do is say thank you all for being here and chilling with me on the podcast, and thank you for supporting all of my content. You know, 15 years is a long time to be on the internet, especially with the fact that I didn't really follow the trends that everybody else did. As you guys know, the reason that I'm still able to be here every single day, having these awesome streams and making content for you, is because of you. I'm a crowd-funded individual. No sponsorships, no partnerships, no paid promotions, no referral codes, no shilling of games or products. Instead, it's me being honest about everything that I do here on stream. You know that when I talk about a game, it's the truth. It's not me just sugarcoating it or kissing its butt or, at the same time, slamming a game for clickbait views. Instead, it's me being real with you. And I can do that because you support my content. So today, if you're enjoying this stream, if you're looking forward to Resident Evil 0, maybe you like all the stuff I'm doing, maybe you like the initiative I have over on DSP Throwback, please consider supporting the stream in some way. Right now, my goal for today is try to hit 725 members. In truth, we had 730 something the other day, but we lost a bunch. I guess a member bomb had expired. So today it would be great if we could get 10 of those back, okay? Tips. Every stream I have a goal of around $50 in tips. It sure would be great if you could support the stream via tipping today in some way. That would help a lot. All right, so thanks in advance to anyone who contributes in any way. Really appreciate that. Now let's get to shout-outs and to the final segment of the show. Sound good? All right, here we go. So we'll start off today on the YouTube side of things with Lucifer Soul with a whopping, ginormous, and very generous $50 super chat this morning. Thank you, Lucifer Soul. Let's get you up on the leaderboard and see what you had to say. So Lucifer Soul says the following. I never played this game before, but I saw my dad play every minute of it when he did. Yeah, this game is old, right? Isn't Resident Evil 0 from the early 2000s originally? And wasn't it like a GameCube game, if I remember correctly? I'm trying to remember because wasn't one of them like a GameCube exclusive for one time? And then there was, because Code Veronica was Dreamcast, was it not? There was Resident Evil Code Veronica. I think that was Dreamcast. And then I think 0 was GameCube. And then 1, 2, and 3 were all PS1. And then 4 was weird because it was GameCube at first, but then it also was PS2? Didn't he get first it was GameCube, then it got ported or something like that? It's very confusing, right? Because all these Resident Evil games were jumping from console to console for some time. Wow, I'm being told by Cheetah Man it was actually developed as an N64 game originally, but then eventually was released for GameCube in 2003. Wow. Code Veronica came out in 2000. It's so confusing. Anyway, so I'm happy to hear that your dad played it, and maybe you enjoyed watching your dad play it so many years ago, right? You're talking over 20 years ago when it originally came out. And now I played it 8 years ago. I have no recollection if I enjoyed it or not. And now we get to enjoy it together live as an interactive audience, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Lycifer Soul, for that. And then Dark Kethin did a super chat. Thank you, Dark Kethin, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, so if you missed out on yesterday's podcast or streams, we have all cool animations now. New animation for super chats. Some refreshed animations for super chats that are recolored and look better. Some new animations for tips, which are pretty cool because they're like Yakuza themed for the upcoming Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So really like refreshed stuff for the new year around here, which I'm really enjoying. So I hope that you guys like them. Okay. All right. So that is on the super chat side of stuff. Now, from what I can see, and this is what I need to confirm, so far, I don't see any tips. Right? Is that correct? Because now I don't even know, right? Can I actually trust what I see here? Or did anyone tip and no notification got sent through? Because like I said, we had this issue yesterday, and it was a big problem. Hopefully, you know, things are fine. No one's tipped yet. Okay? So in the meantime, since no tips have come through, by the way, good afternoon, Lucky Gremlin. Thanks for tagging me there. I guess it is afternoon. Wow, it is afternoon for me now. Didn't even realize. If you want to chat, you can tag me in the chat, and we'll talk a little bit. We'll do some Q&A. And if any contributions come through, I will shout them out. Okay? Fair enough? All right. So let's see what people want to talk about this morning. We got a little bit of extra time before we jump into Resident Evil 0. Yeah, keep in mind, I missed out on all these Resident Evils. The last one that I played was 2. I never played 3. I never played Code Veronica. I never played 0. That was the era when I was so heavily into Street Fighter. That was really my major focus at that time, and I missed out on so many PS2, GameCube, original Xbox era games. It wasn't until like Xbox 360 and PS3 that I got back into console gaming. So it was like 7-8 years, a chunk of time that I missed out on. Jade says, I love your shirt. Thank you, Jade. I'm glad that you're enjoying the shirt. This is a sweater from a million years ago, but I never wear it. Does Jasper Kitty have costumes? Jasper Kitty does not like wearing costumes. The very first year that we had him, we rescued him, for Christmas, we bought him one of those collars, and it was like a big bow with like a collar, festive collar that was colorful. We put it on him. He hated it and ripped it off within like 5 minutes. Since then, we just don't bother. You can tell certain cats like stuff and certain ones don't. He doesn't like that kind of stuff, so we don't torture him with it. Let's see here. I don't have a most memorable playthrough, Iron Gall. So many playthroughs in 15 years. It's hard to even remember all of them. There's so many different ones with awesome moments, but I don't have a personal, like, memorable favorite one. My favorite Resident Evil game, probably of all time, is still the original. Resident Evil 1. Whether it was the PS1 version or the remake that we actually played a year ago. Like, that game is just so awesome, and it really, to me, defined the entire survival horror genre. So, I think it'll always resonate to me as the favorite game, unless they make an insanely good one, but it's still my favorite. If this playthrough gets support, would I play other Resident Evils right after? I don't think we would have time. If this is this going to take, let's say this takes 15 hours, so that's 5 streams. Let's say I do a stream now, 2 streams next week, and 2 streams the week after. We're already going to have very little time before the new releases hit. So I don't think we would have time for another Resident Evil, honestly. I don't think time will permit it. Keep in mind that I'm balancing this with Baldur's Gate 3. It's not the only game that I'm playing. No Super Real Vibes literally asks us the same question. He says, would you play Code Veronica soon? And again, I don't think we would have time. Being if this game is going to be that long, I don't think we're going to have time to do that. It says that my original playthrough of this game was 16 hours. That's what it's telling me on PS5. So even if this ends up being like a 15-hour playthrough, like I don't see how we'd have another chance to jump into another playthrough of Resident Evil before we get to the new releases. So 672 said, my favorite playthrough was DK64. It's what got me to become a more consistent viewer back on Twitch. You're a horrible person. Just so you know. Okay. Okay. Everyone has a different opinion on what my best playthroughs are. Everyone does. Okay, I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. Thank you very much, 1 Minute Man, for the $20 tip. I want to like to personally, once again, thank you for supporting all of my content the way that you do, because you do, you know, regularly support my content in so many different ways, and I really appreciate that. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's do the animation. One of the new animations, which I love this one. It's cool because we're going to get to see this one probably a good amount this month. Thank you very much, 1 Minute Man. So that's our first tip of the day, 20 bucks. Thank you so very much. Will I censor the DSP throwback content? Censor it? I don't really know what you mean. You mean like would I actually cut out words and stuff? Probably not. I don't know how I would do that. I'm not going to painstakingly rewatch every playthrough. You know, that's, you know, what'll happen is if there's language and stuff in there, right, that's deemed inappropriate, the videos will end up, the videos will end up getting flagged 18 plus. And if they do, basically all that happens is it just removes the ads. Right now, there's no ads anyway. So it would just flag it 18 plus and it wouldn't even affect anything, right? But that's what it is. Like back in the day, anything flew on YouTube. But over the years, things have changed in certain kinds of, you know, comments and commentary. It's not that they're not allowed. It's that they get flagged so that you can't make money on them and they don't put ads on them, right? So I think it'll be fine. I'm not really too concerned. Like I said, I'm not ultimately concerned that every single piece of content that I put on DSP Throwback gets fully monetized. I have no plans to do memberships on that channel or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't see that being a big deal. So am I worried about getting canceled? Am I worried about getting canceled for things that I said 14 years ago? No. If I was going to be canceled, it would have happened. Many people have tried and failed. I'm not going to be canceled. Sorry. It's not going to happen. Great. No Sleep Real Vibes thinks I will really love Sea of Stars. He's playing it on Switch and loves it. So there you go. Fallen Angel says, any plans on updating my Patreon? My Patreon, quite frankly, is a legacy way to support my content. Okay? Being honest here. It's really not active. It's the way my Patreon works is if you just wanted to contribute without being part of a stream, that's one great way to do it. A lot of people who are just on-demand video watchers and never attend a stream will just pledge to my Patreon once a month to help out. Or if you're someone who actively wants to get one of these private videos made, whether it be a private react, right? Whether it be a a Q&A video, like that kind of stuff. That's really what it's for. The stuff that was offered on there is from an older time before I was a full-time live streamer. I hear ya, because you're like us. It even references Ask the King on there. Oh, I know. I totally know. And the funny part is, no one pledges to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will pledge like $1 or $5 a month just to help, and then there's people who will pledge like $50 a month to get the video, and that's it. Like, there's no one who's pledging because I wanted my video on, or my question on Ask the King. It doesn't exist, right? So maybe you're right. Maybe I should spruce it up this year. Maybe I should remove some of those tiers just to make it like $1, $5, and $50. I guess, that's probably it. Those are probably really. I guess you could say the 10, but even the 10, there's really nothing for it. It's just if you want to help out and pledge behind the scenes and say, hey, I like your content that you're already making. Here's a way for me to support it kind of silently. That's a way to do it. Or if you want to get a specific video made, the $50 pledge, and that's really what it's there for. I don't have any plans to like expand my Patreon. I don't feel like that's the way to go. If I were an on-demand creator, if I wasn't just a full-time live streamer, then maybe that would make sense. But no, I don't really plan on doing that right now. So, who created my stream music? Probably about 40 different people over the years. Back in the day, it was guys like Ghost Drone who made the original remixes, like Thugs on the Floor. But over the years, there's been like countless people who've made music. So it's not just one person. It's basically all the fans from over the years. I don't know what I'm most looking forward to playing in 2024. From the list that we went through on Christmas, I would say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a huge, cool thing because it's not just a redo of Final Fantasy VII anymore. We know there's going to be distinct differences between the plot of the original Final Fantasy VII and this new one. So I'm looking forward to that. But overall, I don't know yet. It's kind of too early in the year. Yes, I did lose my sense of taste when I had COVID. I couldn't barely taste anything. For a few days, the only thing I could even taste was like the cherry juice that I drank, and I could only taste like the very tartness of it, and that was it. I couldn't taste savory or sweet or anything. But it took about a week, and then it came back. Yes, I'm streaming Final Fantasy VII at launch. It's one of the biggest releases of the year. I will absolutely be streaming it at launch. For Kat, I almost said Final Fantasy. For Kat, Far Cry 6 is mixed. There's some things she likes because they're big improvements to the franchise, and other things are just as tedious and annoying as always. The insane amount of grinding content in the game that you think is meaningful, you do it all. It's like, wow, I just got my 100th generic resource. And I did, fighting it out against insane, endless waves of generic enemies, Some of the plot stuff she really likes. Some of the plot elements and things are good, and she likes the location way better than Far Cry 5, but outside of that, there's a lot of things that annoy her too, so it's kind of a mixed bag. Rugal says, one thing I'll advise you of in Resident Evil 0, make sure you set your partner to follow you. They will waste precious ammo like it's nothing. Oh, yeah? Will I ever do a midnight stream again? Probably not. I don't see the point. Most games don't come out at midnight anymore. And when these games do come out, people have already covered them for like a week early because they were literally paid to shill the game early. So there's no point in doing midnight streams. I just play new games on their release days at my appropriate stream times, just like anybody else would stream it. That why am I gonna create artificial hype around a midnight stream when a dozen other people already played the game, right? It used to be everyone is on equal footing, so everyone goes, buys the game, and plays it at once, and there was hype that you felt like you were one of the first people in the world to play that game. Now, these, paid product placement people who get the game weeks early and get to do it for early reviews and early shilling, the game's already spoiled all over the internet, so where's the hype? There is none. So, no, I'm probably never doing that ever again, quite honestly. Unless there was a really good reason or a special game, but that hasn't happened in so many years, I don't know what that would even be, right? Okay. Jade says this is the first time he'll ever see the game. For many people, I bet. You know, the mainstream Resident Evils, a lot of people probably have played and seen, but some of these spin-offs, a lot of people never played. Me included. You know, I played it 8 years ago, and now how is it? I don't even remember it. Right? But hopefully it's good. We shall see. Dark Magus says, my favorite OG playthroughs of yours are Fallout 3, Mass Effect 2, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. There you go. Man, imagine my original... See, here's the problem with the Fallout 3 playthrough. I left the music in. Oh, man. I bet you can't even watch it, right? How much you want to bet that it's almost unwatchable? That most of the videos are muted from all the music, correct? Anytime that I turned on the radio on the Pip-Boy, you can't even listen to that on YouTube anymore. So I wonder if that original Fallout 3 playthrough is, like, destroyed or not. I'm just curious. You know, I didn't monetize those videos back in the day. But I really wonder if it's, like, watchable or not. Or if they just really, you know. Because I remember replaying. Was it Fallout 3? No, I think it was Fallout New Vegas. And I had the music on. And I was on a vacation. Okay? And I had replayed the game. And I had, like, serious amounts of videos that I uploaded to go live over the week when I was on vacation. This was, like, 11, 12 years ago. And all of a sudden I get told, yeah, none of your videos can be watched. Everyone's trying to watch them, and it all says that they're not currently viewable on YouTube. And I go and check, and it was all because of the music. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I don't know. Fallout 3, I would love to maybe... See, I've never replayed it, right? I never really went back and did a full replaying in the modern day. But since they're remaking it, I probably shouldn't. I should probably hold off. But I wonder if I would even be able to redo the Fallout 3 playthrough with this idea that I have of making it more modern, because I think the music, how would I remove all the music? I don't even know how I would do that without it, you know, being completely screwed up. I don't know. Lies vs. Soldiers did a super chat. I always hated Final Fantasy, but I love Suikoden 4 or Phantasy Star Universe, both on PS2. Suikoden 1 and 2, I think I played some of Suikoden 3. I don't remember if I ever beat it, but the first two are just, like, such classics. They're, like, for that era, they're, like, the epitome of what the turn-based RPG could really be. I remember. So many characters, so many abilities, right? Really unique. Faulty with mods? If they ever do the remake, maybe they'll enable mods. That'd be interesting. I know what you're saying. Maybe, like, Fallout 3 on my mini PC. I wonder how it would run. Man, I really wonder. How would Fallout 3 run on my mini PC? I don't know. It is such an old game, but, you know, with the mods and stuff to make it more modernized, I wonder how that would work. Ugh. Oh, my goodness. Fallen Angel says, I remember actually burning to disc your Fallout New Vegas playthrough. I took it to a cabin holiday with me so I could carry on watching while I was offline. Those were crazy old times. That's awesome. That's so awesome. See, today, not that I'm shilling, because I swear to you, this is not an attempt to shill at all. If you're a YouTube premium subscriber, that's exactly what you can do. So you can set, like, a whole playthrough of someone and say, I want this to be viewable offline, and YouTube will actually store it locally to your YouTube app, and then you can watch those videos offline with no internet, which is pretty neat. But that's something you could do today. Back then, you're right, you would have had to burn it, right? Burn it to disk. That's pretty crazy, man. Hopefully that was fun. Yeah, I never got into Phantasy Star. I wasn't into I wasn't into Genesis RPGs. I was into all the Super Nintendo RPGs. So Final Fantasy 4 and 6, which were called 2 and 3 in the US. Super Mario RPG, Earthbound, Chrono Trigger. You know, those were my RPGs. I wasn't into any of the Genesis ones like Phantasy Star. So I missed out on those. Do I think Elder Scrolls 6 will be better than Skyrim? With zero information, I can't answer that question. All you can do is speculate, right? And speculatively, based on how good Starfield was, no, I don't think it'll be as good as Skyrim. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll actually have some creativity and fun, and it won't just be another follow paint by numbers, cookie cutter style game. Maybe they'll actually do something neat. But with how Starfield came out, I can't imagine. It seems like Bethesda has become creatively bankrupt. They just regurgitate the same content over and over rather than doing anything new or interesting because they don't know how to do anything new or interesting anymore. They've lost their talent, perhaps. I don't know. So. Swagonito, you came in late. We had a giant segment about DSP Throwback on the show. I even gave a full update on the first attempts at working on it. And, check out this podcast later for your answers. Dark Magus says, I'm more of a Dragon Quest fan. Dragon Quest is great. I missed out on so many of those, which are great games. They really didn't have American versions, that's why. Later on in the 2000s, I got caught up, and I played a lot of the Dragon Quest games on Game Boy Advance, and then later on the DS, and I loved them. And as you guys know, one of my favorite RPG playthroughs of all time that I've done was Dragon Quest XI. That was super fun. We had a great chill time. People always came out to hang out and talk. People actually supported those streams. It was a really special playthrough for me, and I'm hoping that with upcoming RPGs such as Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that we're going to regain that feeling around RPGs again, right? Like, I really would hope that we could reestablish that. Carlito's back, baby. Thank you. Saying, I want to congratulate you on Street Fighter 6 last night because you put in decent effort to concentrate. You didn't get toxic. I'm glad that you found it more enjoyable. I will try to do that. Here's the thing, again. I will get frustrated if the game's not working properly, but I don't think that it's right for me to go crazy on the other players. So I need to chill with that shit, and I tried last night, and hopefully it came across that I was chilling with that. And I'm going to try to keep that going, to not get too insane when I play fighting games. As funny as it is to hear me go off and freak out, you know, a lot of people find it, like, too harsh or actually, like, legit insulting. I don't know why, because I don't mean it. The shit I'm saying I don't mean, but I think a lot of people take it the wrong way, so I just got to calm down with that. 672 just gifted a membership, and it went to NC. Congratulations, NC, on the gifted membership, and thank you, 672, for the support of the channel this morning. I appreciate that. All right, so, by the way, I'm just going to reiterate one more time, guys. If you do tip me today and you notice I'm not shouting it out, please let me know in the chat, because we have been having issues with the tip notifications recently, and I just want to be sure I'm not missing any tips. So if you did contribute today and like, why isn't Phil shouting it out, please let me know. Yesterday we had a shitty situation where someone had done a very generous tip and waited an hour before they said anything because they were trying to be nice about it, and then by the time that it was the end of the stream, I was like, wow, it really sucks because we would have had all these reward tiers and everything, and it didn't happen because, you know, stupid PayPal didn't send me the notification. So I want to avoid that today, especially because it's a premiere playthrough. You might have some excited people who want to support it, and I don't want to have you guys waiting around endlessly, all right? And by the way, don't worry, I'm not going to entertain. If there's some newcomer who comes into the chat spamming, oh, I tipped, I'm not going to believe them. I'm talking about, like, regulars, you know, people who I can trust. I don't know if I beat Resident Evil 0 on hard. I don't remember the playthrough. I'm not playing Lords of the Fallen because no one wants me to play it. There's your answer. Literally, no one cares about Lords of the Fallen. Like, it's like a dead game. When it came out, there was like a 1 week people talked about it, and since then, no one's mentioned it. It's like, it's just non-existent. There's no time to waste time. There's no reason to waste time on a dead game no one gives a shit about. That's why. I'd rather play a retro game that I don't remember, and people have asked for a while. People have actually asked for Resident Evil 0 multiple times in the last, like, year and a half. If I remember, a year ago, it was between Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil 1 Remake 1, but now we're going to play 0. People wanted 0 for Halloween, and then the Halloween marathon got canceled. So for now, we're finally getting around to it, okay? What genre of games do I think needs more love and attention? They're underrated. Definitely the visual romance novels, you know. Any of those games where it's just, you know, virtual wooing of like an anime girl or an anime guy that looks incredibly like feminine and sparkly, giant goo eyes. You know, the more the better. I mean, I just can't believe there's not more of those games. Right? Anything that's a virtual relationship that you could spend all this time on, you know, fawning over a person that doesn't exist, falling in love with them. Perfect. Great. For society as a whole, it's just we need more of those. I feel like that would really help out. Why not? All right, guys, anything else? Any last minute questions, concerns, anything to talk about? Maple Story? I don't know anything about Maple Story, actually. I've heard the name a zillion times, but I don't know much about it. Did I say feminine men? Yes, excuse me, effeminate men. I used the wrong word. I should have said effeminate men. Because isn't it weird that, like, in all of those, like, romance stories that are, like, the anime-ish games and stuff, it's always like the guy is like super girly, like a J-pop or K-pop star idol, always super skinny, right? Like super duper skinny, with like they're like metrosexual, always constantly like their faces, they're like big eyelashes and makeup, sparkly eyes, and right? There you go. That's what all the ladies want. No, it's funny, like having watched all this K-pop stuff for Private Reacts in the last year and a half, all the guys look exactly the same. They all have to be super skinny, and they all have to have, like, insanely pale face makeup. They have to have, like, zero pigment on their face. They have to be, like, the palest, whitest, pasty faces you've ever seen. For some reason, that's, like, the aesthetic over there that they find attractive for males. It's like... So let me get this straight. You think attractive means if you step outside and there's a small breeze that you blow away to another country because you weigh 4 pounds and you're just like, your face is just so crazy makeuped up. It's like a cake. Like you go like this, you got like icing on your finger. It's like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get it, but whatever. It's good to see you here, Jay. Good to have you here. Any chance for more Firehouse subs? I have not had a Firehouse sub since I ordered that Firehouse sub for what was it? When did I eat that Firehouse sub? Was that the Thanksgiving event? I think. Was it the Thanksgiving event? So that was the last time that I had one. And I doubt... the thing is, they're great, but they're expensive. So you have to pay a lot of money for it, and that's why I don't get it that often. You know? All right, have we calmed down? Are we ready to begin for today? It looks like people have stopped tagging me. I guess we're done, huh? All right. All right, well, guys, good podcast today. I had a good time. Thanks for listening to the update on DSP Throwback. Like I said, when I have more updates for you, I'll let you know. I'm excited to try Resident Evil 0 for a second time today. I don't know how it's going to go. I guess we'll see. And that's that, my friends. The year is off to a good start. No? I would say so. I would say that around here things are kind of interesting. And I'm excited for more fun content with all of you. Thanks for being here for the premiere of Resident Evil 0. Thanks for listening. Oh, by the way, I have a new 15 years of DSP artwork. I totally forgot to update that one because I have a new one that looks a little better than that I'll be adding soon if I remember. That's the thing, like when it rains it pours. So I'm working on DSP Throwback. I also gotta get this best playthroughs of the year thing done. I got new artwork coming in. I got a million things happening. I'm like, I always something gets forgotten, you know. Anyway, thank you all. Great show. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to tell you what I thought about Resident Evil 0, playing it the second time, and also hopefully a big update on Like a Dragon. Hopefully we can get some progress tonight. I'm really hoping that we can wrap it up because I want to move on to other stuff. So, thanks guys, and see you tomorrow.